everyone, my name is Helen and November has come to an end, so today I'm going to do my November wrap-up. Basically, I didn't really think that I would get to read too many books in November because I participated in NaNoWriMo, so I didn't have much time to read. However, it turned out that I actually managed to read 10 books in November. Some of the books were so amazing and the others were also very great, so I'm going to show you now what I read and what I think of them. I started out in November with reading this series. This is the Lux series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. We have Obsidian, Onyx, Opal and Allegiant. And these books were very good. It is about Kat who moves to West Virginia with her mother. However, their new neighbors are quite interesting. We have, for instance, this man called Damon. We also have his sister called Dee. And the thing is, Kat falls in love with Damon and she becomes best friends with Dee. And then we figure out that these guys are actually aliens. I'm not going to reveal anything else, but I really didn't think that I would like a series about aliens, but I really like this series. This has also been highly praised by people around the world and I understand that. Also, the coolest thing about Kat is that she is a book blogger. She blogs about books and she also makes some videos. That's just like me. So I could just totally identify with Kat, or just kidding. I like that she was a booktuber. That just made the series even more fun to read. Afterwards, I picked up Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. I would very much like to tell you what this book is about, but it's very hard to explain because so many things happen. However, we basically have this man who revisits an old house in the beginning of the book, and this is a special house to him because it is a house that he used to be in when he was a child, and he used to hang out with a girl in this house called Letty. And then in this book we hear about their experiences as children, and a lot of amazing things happen, a lot of crazy things happen. All in all, I enjoyed the book. I liked its creativity. But I will have to say it was a bit too messy for me. It was very hard to get into this story because so many things happened and it was all very messy. So Neil Gaiman is still one of my favorite authors, but this was not my favorite book by him. But it was still a good read. I gave it 3 stars out of 5 on Goodreads. Then I picked up Never Fade by Alexandra Bracken, and I've already done a review of this book, so I'm going to leave a link underneath so that you can go to the review if you want to know what I think about it. But all in all, I really liked it and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Afterwards, I picked up Allegiant by Veronica Roth, and I'm definitely going to do a review of this book as well in the near future because I have some things to say about this book. Until then, I can reveal to you that I really love this ending. This is the last part of the Divergent trilogy, and this is just the perfect ending. I really loved it. Afterwards, I picked up quite a heavy book, and that is Nobody's Fool by Richard Russo. Perhaps this doesn't look that heavy, but it is about 600 pages, and there are a lot of words on each page. The thing is, it's amazing how nothing happens in this book, but it's still really good. I mean, nothing really happens. We hear about this man called Sully, and Sully is about 60 years old and he lives in this small village in America. And then we hear about his life, his friends, his work, etc. And nothing really happens, but it's just so amazing and it's hard to explain why. I believe it's because of the characters. Richard Russo has a way of describing characters that is just so beautiful. Also, even though this took me about 10 days to read, I was very sad towards the ending when I realized that it would soon be over because I began missing the characters even while I was reading. So that just shows how brilliant Richard Russo is at creating characters. All in all, I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars just because I missed some action, but I really love the characters. Finally, I picked up the first 2 books in the Ruby Red series, and these are by Kerstin Gier. We have Ruby Red and Sapphire Blue, and there is also Emerald Green, but I haven't read that in November. I will be reading that in December. These books are about this girl called Gwyneth. Gwyneth is born with a time-traveling gene. However, she doesn't know that in the beginning of the first book. She only knows that Charlotte, her cousin, is supposed to have the gene. We quickly realize that it's Gwyneth who has the gene. Then things start to happen, and I'm not going to reveal too much if you haven't read the books. But all in all, I enjoyed them. I gave 5 out of 5 stars to the first one and 3 out of 5 stars to the second one. And that's because I felt like the second one was a little bit more boring than the first one. This was kind of a repetition of what is happening in the first book. So I like the series and it's very interesting, and I hope that things will start picking up in the third book. Now I have come to my end of my November wrap-up. I still need to do a December to be read, and it's not going to be too long because I kind of feel like I don't want to settle on any books that I need to read in December. However, there is one book that I would very much like to read, and that is A Merry Little Christmas by Debbie McComber. I actually started reading this yesterday and it's pretty good so far. It's kind of chick lit and it's very Christmas-like. It takes place during Christmas and we follow these families who are celebrating Christmas and joining each other in their houses and just having fun. So it's kind of cute and I like it, and it gets me in the mood for Christmas. A second book that I would also very much like to read in December is of course the third book in the Ruby Red series, Emerald Green by Kerstin Gier. That's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you all have a great day. Happy reading everyone, and bye bye.